Good morning, Rabbi Isai. I was talking to Mati Belsky last night. I just realized this second. He told me, he said, you know that when you say good morning, Rabbi Isai, it's not 60,000 people that hear it. It's more like 400,000. He says, this kids, the wives, he says, my wife hears it, my daughters, I'm assuming other people. Your good morning, Rabbi Isai goes out there to 400,000 people. That's what he said. But how do you say it in Morenu v'ahuvenu Reb Eli Shlita? And then our revered and beloved, revered I mean. Revered. Revered? You should know that not all new words are new words. Yesterday's word, separation, is a real word. Mark's that. Our revered, and what's the other word that you said? First of all, there are simply no words to describe the pleasure and geschmack we receive from the shiurim. And now to the story that took place this past Shabbos. This is from Dudi Braverman, our beloved Hebrew speaker. Revered Hebrew speaker. This past Shabbos in the dining room of an Erechim seminar for academics at the Nov Kinneret Hotel in Tveria, Tiberias. As you know, I'm an MDY missionary at Erechim parley meetings and seminars. I send completely secular Jews to the shir, and from there, everything else happens on its own. I was curious to discover whether there are any participants in this seminar who are also my brothers in the MDY family. And by the way, Elazar Kapach, he was at this and he said this story, like he's there. He saw it during the Sudas and during his speeches, he kept on dropping MDY, kept on explaining to the Olam over there about MDY. On Shabbos morning, I made Kiddush for all the participants, more than 200 people. But before saying V'shom B'nai Yisrael, I shouted at the top of my lungs, good Shabbos Rabbi Isai. From every corner of the dining room, I heard the response, ah. And this is to non-religious Jews. It was delivered in octaves that would have not even embarrassed the original shir in Bet Shemesh. It was a true moment of nachas and genuine oidik Shabbos, Ashrecha Rebeli Ashrecha. Your influence extends from one end of the country to the other, not only among those who already observe Torah mitzvahs, but also among those who, Be'ezras Hashem, will yet come to observe Torah with love and joy. Should Tisha B'Av be transformed into a joyous day this year with the arrival of Mashiach, I have no doubt that you and MDY have played a significant role in bringing the Geula closer. With tremendous appreciation and admiration, Dudi Braverman. Valdek. There's a guy, if I remember, just yesterday, a guy who's, I don't know, I was told by his mishpacha that he's not a shomer Torah. He donated over $50,000 to MDY. He watches the shir every single day. Nivgati.com, Rabbi Isai, this is beautiful. Official complaint intake portal will exist to validate your discomfort and give it a case number if it bothers you, it matters to us. Begin complaint intake, and on the bottom, visual exposure complaint, music and sound complaint, crinkling bag complaint. Somebody's doing it right now. No beard complaint, it's a cult complaint. And Bekitzer, there's a lot of different steps you can take. Department selection, emotional verification, offense severity assessment. What?
3 to 5 emotional business days.
3 to 5 emotional business days. Current queue position 47. There's 47 Nivgati people. This Rabbi said it's in Hebrew, it's in Cape Town. He says it's dark and early in the morning, nobody's in shul.
יושב יהודי צדיק לפני התפילה ולומד דף יומי. 6:30 בבוקר. חושך בחוץ.
Oh, he's wearing a coat? Is it winter in Cape Town right now?
חיים. שייכם ישראל. שייכם ישראל.
Hold on.
חמור אותך משהו. בית כנסת עוד ריק.
Interesting shul. You know the shul?
אין עדיין אף אחד.
Cape Town?
חושך בחוץ. אתה רואה? הנה, חושך.
There's a guy learning over there, actually. Okay, huge Yishukar for giving me a thirst for Torah. This is from Shimi Leafman. A huge Yishukar for giving me a thirst for Torah for the last 5 years straight. I'm proud to be associated with you and the rest of MDY Chevra. I've lost count of how many people I've brought. But instead of giving you another piece of stunning walnut as a Kar Zatoiv, I'll keep promoting MDY and Be'ezras Hashem. And Baruch Hashem, currently working with some guys in Gateshead to get a satellite set up for Elul. And Gates said, may Hashem grant you the koyches to continue, Avitz HaKoyesh, and may you see tremendous nachas and bracha from your family. Amen. Hatzlacha with the satellite location in Gateshead.
To bring back the guys who you lost with Shavuot Derby.
Are you going for another short? Shamshi made it into a short. Right? His thing about official Shachter yesterday it became a short. It went viral. The highest rated short of all time in MDY. Official edition MDY Shas the Masechta Zevin Yal Sholov Perek Itzi Halan Deli Nishmas Sarah Tzira Bas Doiv Ber. Official edition MDY Shas Daf Ayin Zayin Ariel Kayimov in the memory of Avram ben Yafa, Esther Bas Yafa, Esther Bas Ima Shalom, Michal ben Esther. David Salam dedicated in memory of Avi Meir, Reb Shmuel Baruch, Ber Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv Zechron Levracha. The Masechta is sponsored by the Palchik Family Foundation. May our Limat Torah during the 3 weeks bring us closer to Yimei Gula V'Simcha. Anonymous Tzlacha Baruchnis Ubigashmis, and thank you to Chief Benny, Shmuel and Ova Schuster for continuing Tzlacha and Nachas from our children. Anonymous for complete refuah Shleima and Arichis Yom Talei Bas Esther. Chaim Elea Levi in honor of the MDY family. Anonymous for my birthday and as a schus for that Tzlacha of my family Baruchni Ubigashmi. Ayisar Refuah Shleima Avi Mari Baruch Ben Miriam. Anonymous today I believe is the Shloishim. Lilu Nishmas Yonatan Eitan Ben Mordechai Zev HaKoyen Zechron Levracha, very, very deeply missed. Big part of the shir, came to many shiurim here, even when he was very, very sick. The Tzvi's, Lili Nishmas Yonatan Eitan, Ben Mordechai Zev HaKoyen Zechron Levracha. The Muncie MDY firefighters, Lili Nishmas, our unforgettable chief, Chaim Gavriel Ben Aryeh Yoel Jacobson Zechron Levracha. The Spanish shir sponsors a big refuah shleima to a close friend, Naftali Herz B'chai Pesio, anonymous. The Schus Yitzchok, Mino Hadas, Ben Bas Malka Yuta, Batya Bas Malka Yuta, and finding the Zivog and all in need. The Spanish year sponsor weekly anonymous in honor of Enor Ergalimidi. Daily sponsors Michael Litwin in memory of David Quint, David Michal Ben Rav Emmanuel B'Tzalel HaKoyen. Daf Yomi Magid Shir for 25 years is in Shalom should have an Aliyah. Anonymous refuah Shlema for Yosef Tuvia Ben Naomi, a baby that had surgery, refuah Shlema. The West Hempstead MDY Chaver, Lina Nishmas, Yonatan Eitan Ben Mordechai Zev HaKoyen Zechron Levracha on a Shloishim today. Sprintzin and Alan Gross, Lina Nishmas, Yonatan Eitan Ben Mordechai Zev HaKoyen Zechron Levracha. On a Shloishim today, Jonathan is dearly missed. I don't remember someone that had so many sponsors. There's at least 4. Shmuel and Dina Gans, Refuah Shlema, Reuven Avram Ben Rasha, may his procedure today go well. Amen. Lemger family, Refuah Shlema to Libachava Bas Leah, may the surgery to go well today. Anonymous from Lakewood, Mazel Tov to Simi Mandelbaum on the engagement of his son, Tzvi Pinchas to Rina Dina Levi. MDY Art, Refuah Shlema Mordechai Ben Esther, Refuah Hayela Daniel Zev Ben Ayelet Esther. Here's a good question to think about. Anybody in this room despise gala? Mamish doesn't like gala. Gala.
Does anyone like that?
What if I offered you $150,000 to eat the gala? Would you eat it?
Yeah.
Yes. But you hate it?
Yes.
It looks gross?
Hate it.
Looks gross.
Hate it, but it would eat it.
Are you allowed to take the money and eat it?
He's gonna eat it.
Oh, why not? Why not? I also thought, why not? You're over on the Isser of Balta Shaksu. You don't like it. You hate it. There's an Isser for you to put in your mouth. Now, what does money have to do with it? Money's not going to change the fact that you don't like it. How does it change the Isser of Balta Shaksu, huh? That's the story that happened to. So I guess maybe I even said Lashon Hara about my niece. She's at her father's partner's house the first Shabbos, like one of the first Shabbos after she got married, with my, he's now my nephew, but he was very friendly with Dr. Dauber's son, sitting there, and she said, I don't need gala. So he says, I'm gonna double my wedding gift, whatever it was $5,000 or something. If you eat it, 5. She said, no. He looks at her, and she realized the marriage is almost over. Like, are you crazy? We need the $5,000, and she ate it.
That's called putting your foot in your mouth.
Mamish, gala. Okay? So that's question number one.
So never forget that.
No.
One now, lost long term.
Here's another question, Rabbi Yisai.
Never forget it.
Be'ezer Hashem, the Beis HaMikdash is going to be rebuilt b'Karev Mamish, and we're going to be eating Korban Pesach. You're part of a group. You're part of a group of guys. You have to be part of a. You have to be mono. You have to be in a chabura. They make groups beforehand. They say, okay, I'm part of this group. You get there a little late. There's nothing left but a bunch of sinews, white, gross tendons. If you eat a kazayis of it, are you yaitz or not yaitz a Korban Pesach? You say no. You say no. Are you here?
Make out out of it.
All right, so today we have a gewaldige daf going back to Eli Stefansky. A lot of pictures of broken bones and all sorts of stuff. Very geschmack. Says the Gemara, we're sholchu mitam. Where are you? Oh, Nishbar Etzim. Okay, we'll start from there. Gewaldig. Nishbar Etzim. If a bone broke in the animal, then it's a treifa. What's the lashon here? Depends if there's the roiv meat, which that's today's sugi. We're going to see what a roiv meat is. Omarav, lemalo min arkuva, above. We're holding like smack in the middle of Vayin Vav and Beis. Lemalo min arkuva by the two dots. But like above the knee, by the bend, lemalo min arkuva by the joint. Im roiv abasar kayim ze v'ze mutar. If there's a majority of flesh, then you're allowed to eat even the foot that's broken. Certainly you're allowed to eat the animal. Well, not certainly, it's not a treifa, so you're allowed to eat the animal, but even the leg. Vim lav, ze v'ze asar. If you don't have roiv basar, which we're going to describe what it is, you're not allowed to even eat the animal. The whole animal's treif, you're not allowed to eat it. L'matim and arkuva, what if it's below the joint? Im roiv abasar kayam ze v'ze motor. Same thing, if you have the roiv basar below the joint, they're both the animal and the foot are motor. Im lav, if you don't have roiv basar, here's a massive chiddush, aver asar. The aver itself is like aver medaldal, it's like a dingling, it's not part of the animal. Memela, you're not allowed to eat it. Ubeheba mutaris, it doesn't cause a treifa, so you're allowed to eat the mother, but not the mother. We're not talking about a mother, you're not allowed to eat the cow, but you're allowed to eat the cow, but you're not allowed to eat the leg. Shmuel Omar, bein lamala, bein lamata, so we have machlokes between Rav and Shmuel. Shmuel says, doesn't matter. Lamala, lamata, im roiva basakayim zevizem mutar, im lav, aver aser, ubehema mutaris. In both, it's considered aver medaldo. Maskul Rav Nachman Shmuel, yoimru, aver mimena mutal ba'ashpo mutaris. How could you say that we make a distinction between the leg and the rest of the animal? They'll say, oh, part of the animal is in the garbage, and you're allowed to eat the animal. What's the difference between Rav and Shmuel? There's only in one case there's a difference. But Rav also says the same thing in one case, that what? That you're allowed to eat the rest of the animal, but not the aver. So also according to Rav, they'll say the same thing. So according to Rav, above the joint, it's a treifa, and according to Shmuel, above the joint, it's not. So Maskul, oh, Yoimru, he said, but what's the difference between Rav and Shmuel? Both of them have, what do you put in? Oh, okay. Both of them have a case where the animal's mutter and the aver is asur. So people can say, oh, the aver's in the garbage, you're allowed to eat the rest of the animal. She says, no. What? I skipped? Same exact thing as Shmuel. Shmuel has in two cases, Rav has in one. When it's above the joint, if that if you chop it off completely, it'll cause death to the animal. So how is it possible that if that aver is in the garbage, the animal's mutter? Hilchos will say the Rav. They said in Eretz Yisrael, the halacha is like Rav, that what? Above the joint, the animal becomes a treifa. Hadashalchu, then it's very confusing. The first they said, according to Rav, above the joint is treif. Hadashalchu will say the Shmuel. Then say, no, it's not treif. Hadashalchu, go say the Rav, it is treif. Not only that, ve'ever atzmoi mitama b'maso. So this is interesting. If you remember, you don't see it a lot in Shas, that shchita is a nipol, this idea of shchita is a nipol, miso is a nipol, what does that mean? It's possible, it's machloikis in shchita, if you shech the animal, the moment you shecht it, you go back a moment and you say, retroactive, this limb, the dangling limb, was chopped off completely. What daf was that on? On Gimel. You know what to ask for Jake. You're also doing Zichru. Levi, what daf was it on? What does that in Gimel stand for? Come on, are you behind?
Yeah, of course.
Egg. What kind of egg? Egg. Ostrich. That's why I asked him. We're a weekend, like we're pretending we know Shas. Okay, so I got it. So there's a concept called shchita isanila. It's one of these concepts that you're not going to see again in Baba Kama, in Sukkah. It's like here. If you what time do you get up today? 6 coffees. The guy's on a. So anyway, shchita. What is shchita isanila? You shecht. You have a dangler. Dangler is considered. It's gone before. Gone before makes it a what? Every menachai is tamei. So that's what he's saying. That Eretz Yisrael, they passing at the end like Rav, that above if it's broken above the joint, treif, not only that, it's just broken. We consider nipple, we consider it fell off. I don't know if I said it in a while, but when I was a kid, and a lot of us here, we used to sing this song. When I remember exactly where I was in Long Beach. I was about 3 years old, and some goyim, they made fun of us. They insulted the Jews. So my mother told me, sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you. Right? And Lamaisa, that's how I grew up. A lot of times in school, we said, no, sticks and stones will break. And Lamaisa, it's not true. Lamaisa, it's not a Yiddish concept. Sticks and stones will break maybe your bones, but names will do a lot more damage. Lashon Hara will do a lot more damage, and that sort of thing. Okay, all the trauma that people have, Nebuch, besides, now I mean, I learned this a while ago, but the trauma that people have is from words and from, obviously, if you get beat up when you're a kid, from your parents, your Rebbe, that's trauma, but mainly from words. Also, there's another big story that I don't know if the Olam knows. The actual birth, when you are born, that causes trauma. And you have to go back and try to fix it. There's ways to do it. There's whatever.
When your mother's expecting.
What?
Even trauma when you're inside your mother.
Yes. Am I knocking my children right now? You guys are enjoying it. It's weiter. I do. My daughter is a healer. She's a tremendous Balas Kishron. She's very matzliach. And whoever wants to get good healing, whoever's into that parsha, women, check her out, Elisa Jacobs, unbelievable. Huh? Not a corporate czar. She asked me to say this like half a year ago. I said, absolutely not. I don't do it. But now I just made fun of them, so I might as well try to be misaken. Maser Rav Chisda, Meisiv, it says Meisiv by me also. Maser Rav Chisda. Loi imtiara. We had a very similar lashon in our Mishnah, so we're very familiar with this debate over here. It's between Chacham and Meir whether or not you could prove something from a treifa to this Abraham Medaldal. So he says like this. This is a brisa. This is not the Mishnah. Loi imtiara shchitas treifa isa. It says over here that the shchita is mitar. Shchita works. And that's a problem with what we just said. Shechita works for treifa, isavis, aver, ameduldulba, and even a dangling limb. The shechita works to get rid of the tumah. Why? Davar shegufa, it's the actual body of this animal. To tire so uba or davar sheina gufa. How could it go from a mother, a shechita in the mother, to the fetus? But akopanim, you see this idea that the shechita does work. Why are you telling me that the shechita doesn't work? And it's as if the dangler is aver min achai. Right? That's what we just said, that it's a shechita ois a nipple, it fell, it's aver min achai. Omalei Rabbo, hadur apircha lamalach. Why do you have to come all the way to a brayso? A Rabba, Rava. Oisiv mimasnisin. Why didn't you ask a question from a Mishnah? So the explanation is, Rashi explains, a Mishnah, everybody knows a Mishnah about Peh. Noam and I were sitting just yesterday, discussing the word Tana for our new Gemara. Tana means somebody that knows Brises. But there's no such thing as somebody that knows Mishnayos. Everybody knows Mishnayos. Brises, I need somebody, a professional, to teach us Brises, not a Mishnah. So he's telling him, why do you need a Bryce? It goes straight to the Mishnah where everybody knows. What does it say in the Mishnah? If you shecht an animal, then the blood of the animal gives it a hechsher, it prepares it to receive tumah divrei meir. Rav Shimon Omer lo yuchshuru. Akopanim, there's no machloikis if it's aver min achai or not. Of course it's not aver min achai. It's a question whether or not it accepts tumah right now. But it's not aver min achai. No, over there you could say it's not a right from that Mishnah because maybe it's talking about the dangling piece of flesh. Dangling piece of flesh is different than a dangling aver because the flesh itself, maybe it's not aver min achai. Kisolek Reb Zera, when Reb Zera came to Eretz Yisrael, Ashkechei, he bumped into Rav Yomi, the Yosef Ka'amar Lelo Shmaita. He heard Rav Yomi saying over from Rav, that if you break the bone above the joint, it's a treifa. That's Shitas Rav. Amalei, Reb Zera says, Yishar, it's gevaldik what you're saying. V'chein tirgamo Aryach beBavel. Yimam is saying beautiful. Also, Aryach said this in Bavel where I just came from. Aryach, Manu, who's this Aryach? Shmuel. Shmuel, asking more of a miflik polik. We just said that according to Rav, above the joint is a treifa, above the joint, according to Shmuel, is not a treifa. How are you telling me that Shmuel agrees to Rav? Says the Gemara, the Beis Shmuel got the Rav. No, it turns out that Shmuel actually agreed to Rav at the end, and above the joint, the broken bone above the joint, is a treifa. Tanur Rabbanan. Here we go. Back to the treifas. Nishbar etzem yatzel lachutz. If the bone broke, what is it called in English when it breaks and it pops out? Compound fracture. It doesn't say in the words anything about it popping out, but that's what it's called, okay? No, I'm talking about popping out of the skin. Sometimes you see that very dangerous stuff. It could, Levi, we're giving you another opportunity. Yeah, exposed. Exposed fracture. No, that makes a lot more sense. Is this such a word? Open. Oh, open fracture. Nishbar etzem yatzel l'chutz. Im or ubasar choifenes ruboy. If the skin and, you see, ubasar, it's important to notice this. If the skin and the flesh cover choifenes ruboy, cover the majority of the bone, mutter. Im lav, asur. If it doesn't have the majority of the skin and the flesh, then it becomes a treifa. V'kama rubai. What does it mean? Roiv avyoy. Oh, I'm going to pull out my Play-Doh. I don't know about you, but I was big into Play-Doh in nursery. Before my father made me skip 3 grades. No, I think nursery didn't skip, but I think I was okay then. What, Elisa Jacobs?
She'll help you.
Oh, she tried. Didn't work. Anyways, here we go. Here's the bone. It fractured like this, broke. So now, this is the meat, right? It's the red meat. There's machlokes whether there's a roiv around it, like this, around. maybe it's open over here, but most of the majority is covered by meat. Or another pshat is like this, on top. It covers, the actual fracture is covered by meat. Maybe it has to do with, for us to understand, maybe it has to do with the infection and things like that. I think that's the big concern today when there's a car accident, a lot of times, there's a exposed fracture. What do you guys call it? Open fracture, very dangerous, it could be deadly. It could be very deathable. People rever it. That's no shaykhs. Okay. Yeah. Could be epic? No, epi. Epic. It could be epic. No. Epic center. Yeah, epic center. Fine. So says the Gemara. This is the aviyoi, the circumference, the thickness of the bone. So it covers most of the thickness. It's exposed, but most of it is covered. Because and some say roi v'kefai. So if you didn't peek in the Gemara and I were to ask you, all the Manda Amrim, all the Tanoim and Amoraim and Shas, who's the one? No. Oh yeah? Givaldik, yeah, you're right. Did I say that last night also? I hope not. Roi v'aviyoi is right, a kefai means to go around, 100%, yeah, bad. I said it right last night? Just now I messed up? Okay. Aviyoi is the circle, the round part. So aviyoi, and a kefai means, let's just get it right, a kefai means lakif, to go all the way around the circumference. So roi v'kefai means to go all the way around, there's a little bit exposed. Good, you're right, thank you. What was I about to say? So if I were to ask you, which Manda Amar, which Tanor Amar in all of Shas always makes shalom between two shittas and makes a compromise? Rav Papa. Why Rav Papa? How do you remember? Because of the 10 sons, and that was why he's to have 10 sons. He made 10 shaloms, and here it is again. Omar. We just had it a few times. Omar Rav Papa Hilkach. Therefore, being in Roiv Aviyah, you need the top to be covered. Ubin and Roiv Kefa, you also need Roiv of the circumference. Omar Ula, Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Or Hareu Kibasar. If I don't have the flesh, I just have skin. Let's call this skin. Oh, this is mamish nice skin from Shlomi Klein. Skin also, it does the job. If I have Roiv surrounding, then it's okay. Skin is like flesh. Who says that it's like basar? Maybe together, in conjunction with flesh, it's okay. 50% flesh, 50% skin. Why do you say that it could do the entire job of both? Dahar u basar ktani. Before I pointed out, it says im oir u basar chayvenis rubai. It doesn't say either or, it says both of them. So maybe you need both. How do you know that skin by itself is enough to protect the bone? Amalei, anan oir, oi basar taninan. We have another word over there, the word oi, and oi means either or. The way you have it, you're right. It says both, but even skin alone is enough. 50% skin together with some basar. How do you know it's 50-50? Maybe it means there's 90% meat and 10% skin to do the roiv. L'chumra. You're right, I don't know. But I know one thing. I saw a story of Maisa Shahaya. And there's nothing better than seeing a gadol passing from a real story. I was there. There was a bird, let's call it a pigeon, with a broken leg, an exposed fracture. He took the skin together with the meat, 50-50, and it worked. And he said, this is a kosher bird. So no, I have a great ma'isa to prove my you don't need 90% meat and 10% skin, even 50-50. Even 50% skin is also good. How do I know this? From the story of a bird I saw with my own eyes. He tells him, listen, that's what Gemara is all about. It's to make distinctions between different things. Omerlei, bar goizlo karmas, you bring me a proof from a bird. Bar goizlo derach shani. The skin of a bird is very, very soft. So maybe 50% of skin is good enough to protect. But when we're talking about an animal that has much thicker skin, then skin by itself is not enough to protect the bone.
That doesn't make sense. Thin skin shouldn't. Thick skin should.
No, it's about protecting. What goes around the bone better, this or something that's 4 inches thick? It goes, the thin wraps it nicely and it becomes part of it and helps it. I'm not a scientist, I'm just talking, I could hear it. You're talking about protection from injury, from somebody banging it. I'm talking about protection of a wound. You want something thin to grab and start growing and healing. Hanu gidin rakin the asl kamei the rabba. There were these sinews, these gidin. That they wanted to take the white sinews, the Achilles tendon, I don't know what, and apply it to say that this is enough to cover the bone, and that's the roiv skin. Oh, that's where we're getting there. Well, we'll see if they're edible or not. What's the problem, says Rabbah? I have two reasons to be matter sinews to cover the bone. Listen to this. You're allowed to eat just sinews and be yoyt to the carbon Pesach according to who? According to Rabbi Yochanan. So if it's like, it's edible, so it's like basar, what's the problem? It's even better than skin. Skin, you said, is okay, at least some of it. So why not sinews? Void. This is crazy. First of all, stop, think about it. In the time of the Beis HaMikdash, when we eat the carbon Pesach, and you're not allowed to leave even a speck of anything, you have to go all the way down to the bone. So we're gonna have to eat all these interesting things. The kidneys, the brain, the sinews, everything. You have to start getting used to it. You have to start serving this on Shabbos. Well, you're gonna just come in there and just, who's gonna eat it? No, you eat it, you eat it. You don't wanna eat it.
Make it into a hot dog or a hamburger. Nobody will know. Exactly.
When are you doing this, every Pesach?
Sooner serve rice.
Void, listen to this. This is gonna throw you for a loop. The Torah doesn't want you to say that this animal is treif. It has a broken bone. Use the sinews and cover it. The Torah wants you to save money. How are you going to lose a whole animal for that? Popular Rabbah, makes no sense what you said. Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Reb Shimon ben Lakish says you're not allowed to eat sinews on Pesach for Korban Pesach. Visur de'oraisa, we're talking about treif here. But the Amris, my lechashlu. And you're telling me about saving money, not saving money. How does saving money come into the picture over here when Rish Lakish holds that it's usher to eat sinews of the Korban Pesach? You're not yoitza. Ishtik. Rava, Rabba, didn't know what to answer. Says Gemara by my Ishtik, I don't understand. Simple. In all of Shas, imagine, we had, just in the last 3 days, we had, 3-4 machlokes in Rish Lakish, Rabbi Yochanan, Rish Lakish. Every daf in Shas, I'm exaggerating, but they're there everywhere. Hundreds of machlokes in Rabbi Yochanan, Rish Lakish. Rish Lakish only won 3 times. Mamish like me and my wife. I only won 3 times. 3 times in 30 years. 3 times. It's a bad batting average. 3 times. So what is he so concerned? Oh, Rish Lakish holds you're not allowed to eat the sinews on Pesach. No. It's not one of the 3 times that he won the fight. We passing like Rabbi Yochanan. Says the Gemara, no. This happens to be one of the times. It's not even a fight. Rabbi Yochanan said to Rish Lakish, you're 100% right. You're good. You're not allowed to eat those sinews. So whoever said before the shir, or in the beginning of the shir, that you're not allowed to eat sinews as a Korban Pesach was right. At the end of the day, he was right, Allah, la halacha. Just, you should realize that at one point, Rabbi Yochanan thought it's mutter. Shani Acha, the Hodaber Rabbi Yochanan Gabed Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. Over here, Rabbi Yochanan actually agreed to Rish Lakish, Domerle, Al Takniteini Beloshin Yochad, and he said, don't bring me a ride from that Mishnah over there, talks about hard sinews, soft sinews. Don't bring me a ride over there. It's a Das Yochad. Bekitzer, you see that he had charata from this thing, and we hold like Rish Lakish. Now what? So Mela, since you can't eat sinews for Korban Pesach, so it's not something that is edible, and therefore you can't use it to cover the bone. I have a video here that I forgot to show in the Hebrew. Hopefully I can show it tonight.
אני רוצה בבקשה לעשות מנוי לקורבן פסח. מצטער, אבל נשאר לי מנוי רק לגידים רכים. בסדר לך גידים רכים? לעשות גידים? תעשה לי גידים רכים, מה זה משנה? העיקר שיהיה מנוי.
Okay. Oh, let me just say Shalom Aleichem to the guests. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? From where?
Lakewood.
Lakewood, Shalom Aleichem Baruch. And you?
Mordechai.
What's your last name?
Gober.
Go, you're all related? No?
Yeah, sons. Fathers.
No way. You're joking?
Yeah.
That's the first. You look like you probably heard this 100 times. You look like they're like a little older than them in yeshiva with them. Really? Wow, crazy. From Lakewood?
From Lakewood.
And your name?
Dovi.
Dovi from Lakewood. Gishmak, Shalom Aleichem. You?
Naftali.
Naftali, where? Who?
Kajemesh.
Shalom Aleichem from Bet Shemesh. All the way from Bet Shemesh. Shkoyach. And your name? From? And where? Yerushalayim. Shalom Aleichem. Shkoyach for coming. Okay. Oh, so now we're going to start with a bunch of pictures here. Check this out. Here's the picture. What do you see? What do you see in this picture? Anybody? A piece of the bone fell to the floor. There's a little small piece of the bone that fell onto the ground. Also, so they came to Abaya. He wasn't sure what to do with this. He waited, I don't think he waited with the meat because they didn't have refrigeration. Probably sat there with the question for three Yom Tovim. You know, the G'dolim come, you meet this gadol, that gadol. I forgot who it was, I think the Brisker Rav. He once came to a wedding. They asked him, what are you doing here? You don't go to weddings. He says, I had a big question. I was bothered by this shah. So I figured, I'm going to come to this wedding. I'll find a lot of the Rosh Yeshivas, a lot of the G'dolei Olim. I'll talk to them and learning, yeah? That's how you know the Maisa?
It was based on Mikdash in the time of Abaya.
No, Yom Tovim, that's when people... Yeah. That's when they came, the famous, what is it called? What they do? Yarchei Kala. They come to hear Shiurim, yeah. Yeah. That's when they came. They came on Yom Tov. Go to Rava, the son of Rav Yosef Bar Chama. The Charif Sakina, he's a sharp knife. They use that lashon today also. He's very sharp. He knows how to learn. Go ask him. It says that the bone breaks and it's exposed. Mali nofal mali isa. What difference does it make if a piece is there? In other words, the ikir is that the meat surrounds it, protects it, however it works exactly la halacha. But the point is that we have meat and skin that have a roiv, and that's the ikar. A piece missing, a piece not missing, that's not important, it's kosher. Mislakit mao. Here we go. These are all based on the Sichas Chullin. Oh, there was actually, yesterday there was arrows. Let me see if I can find those arrows. Oh, here. The arrows pointing to circular pieces of flesh. You see those little circles? On the top of the broken bone, that's where the bone, this part, that's where the bone fractured. This is small pieces of flesh. Can we take the size of a dime and then the size of this, little small pieces, put them all together and say, oh, we have a roiv? Or maybe they have to be connected. Mislaket mao. Misroises Mao. It's a very, very thin layer. If you look over here on the left side, a nice thick piece of flesh. On the right, it's smaller. Mismasmes Mao. It's decaying. You see, decaying flesh. Is that? Could I use that as a roiv? What does it mean? Mismasses decaying. You go to a doctor, he takes a scalpel and he starts scraping it off. If it's worthless meat, if it's the type of stuff that the doctor says we gotta cut it out, then that's considered decaying. Iboilu. Sometimes it's like it's starting. He doesn't touch it. He's like, okay, let it heal. That's not mismasmas. Iboilu nikav mao. What if there's a small little hole in the meat, like right over here? You can see nikav. Does that make a difference? Niklaf mao. Let's see niklaf. Here we go. Niklaf. In other words, the meat is not touching the bone. It's popped up as it doesn't give the protection that we're looking for. Nizdak mao. No, not this one. Nizdak was over here. Okay. Nizdak. There's a crack in the meat. Nital shlisha tachtoi mao. Oh, this is very geschmack. Where's that? The lower third of the meat is missing. You see, it's not touching the bone over here, and it's missing a nice chunk of meat. But on the other hand, it's completely covering the bone from outside exposure, let's say. Tashma, on this last question of Nital Shlish, or Hareu Kubasar. So he says like this, take a look at this picture. Why is this any worse than a piece of skin? Skin is thinner, skin is not even flesh. We had a whole thing. Could it be just 10% of the skin, maximum 50% skin ratio, 50% meat? Skin is not as good as meat. And over here we have a layer of meat that should act like skin. Why is that any worse? Says Gemara, no, not a good kasha. Dilma, the kana mashchadi day. Maybe we're talking about a place where, sorry, no. I skipped. Toshma domer or areu kabasa. Yeah. Dilma, the kana mashchadi day. Maybe when he said that the skin is like meat, we're talking about a part of the leg where there's no meat at all. Sometimes you're on top of you're by your knee, by your shin, whatever. There's no meat. In that situation, he said, skin is like meat. Because that's what you have. Naturally, you have skin in that area. But in the area that you're supposed to have meat, mechatesa, skin is not like meat over there. Like an elbow. We're talking about the leg of the animal that broke above the bone. Okay. At the actual joint. Omer Ravashi, Kavina Beirav Papa, Yiboilon, another question. Nigdar Kiminta Bas Mao. This is very interesting. If you have to take a good look at this picture, it's hard to see initially. You can see the white and black hide of this animal, like the fur, whatever you want to call it. You see there's a circle in the middle? So right over here there's a circle. In other words, there's a complete ring missing. I actually asked ChatGPT today, so I once heard that if somebody cuts a finger, like you take a knife and cut it all the way around, not on me, that the skin will die to the top, like something like that. In other words, a complete circle is very bad. It doesn't give room for the skin to regenerate. So over here also, it's a little bit of an issue. What happens, you have a broken bone, and you have roiv basar, but there's a circle completely surrounding it. Is that middle part, is that going to regenerate and connect to the rest? Or perhaps since it's a complete circle, it's cut off, so to speak, from the rest. Maybe it won't, maybe it's not going to regrow, I don't know. And we solved the problem. Super interesting lashon here, because usually we go when we ask chachamim. Once in a while, when chachamim are not professionals in certain areas, we ask the doctors. But over here we're asking the chachamim and then the doctors. V'amru misartoi be'etzem u'mal arucha. You have such an issue, what you do is you take a bone, here, you take this, only this as a tool, and you scratch it out. You start scratching and what's the word I'm looking for? Perfect. That's mamish the word I'm looking for. You aggravate the bone. Mamish the word. How do you know? Aggravate. You upset it. Ma? I don't know if that's the word. No. Yeah, that was mamish the word I was looking for. It was on the tip of my tongue. No, because that's exactly what you're doing. The bone is sleeping now. You aggravate it. You start scratching it, and then it starts healing. Then it comes back. But you cannot use a metal tool. You can only use a bony tool. Today we use metal tools. Then back then they probably didn't know about the problems. They noticed that people are dying using metal tools, and they didn't realize it wasn't sterile or whatever. Today we know. It's because you see that the bone took hold of it grabbed onto the flesh is starting to grow. Once you see that, then you know it's not a treifa, you're good. Zok the Mishnah. You shecht an animal, and you find the sack, amniotic sac, where the baby, usually the fetus, grows in that sack. Nefesh hayofa toichlena. If you don't have an issue with it, you're not an istinus, then you can eat it. I heard there's a whole debate even in halacha because women, these new I have to ask my daughter about this. There's some women that want to eat their own placenta. The placenta they see the chayas eat it. It's very healthy. They could have all sorts of. What are you looking at me like I'm crazy? You never heard this in Lakewood? He heard about it in Lakewood. It's there. So most of the Sfarim, it's what?
By a person.
No, by a person.
It's kosher by a person to eat.
No, they say most achronim say it's aser. Aser. Most people say it's aser. Anyway, but it's a thing. And that's why Rabbi Isai and Rabbi Nachum Ateh argued with me in Shir last night about this, but after Meir he came and he showed me the Pri Chodesh, he was medaged the Pri Chodesh like what I said, that it depends on the person. If you yourself despise a certain food, you don't like liver. A lot of people don't like mustard, liver, certain things. And pcha, gala, everybody in their own thing. And you force yourself to eat it, you could be over and about the shaksu. I'm saying if it's for the health reasons and for this, that's something else. But stam, for fun, you're doing it about the shaksu. The Mishnah over here says, nefesh hayofet yichlenu, most people don't eat it. But if you're into it, go ahead, eat it. But you should know, this is not, it can't receive tumah as a food. It's not an apple that if you touch it with the dead cherries, of course, after it's mushal kabel tumah and everything, it's not mekabel tumah. Why? Wait a minute, what was your last name again?
Goldberg.
Again?
Goldberg.
Goldberg.
Goldberg, G-O-B.
G-O-B, oh, so it is you. Somebody told me that you had an itinerary. It was on the itinerary to come here. That's you guys?
Yes.
Okay. And then I just remember because they said Menachem Mata and he did, okay. Huh? Today's the first?
No, the whole itinerary says we gotta find a day to go to Ravelli.
Ooh, yishkoyach.
4.5 years here for a couple days.
How long are you doing the daf?
4.5 years.
Wow. Perfect. Beautiful. You boys also, Shtickle? How long? Each one?
4.5 years.
All together, 4.5 years?
Yeah.
How old are you? How old are you guys?
16. 14.
No way. You started when you're... I was 14. I'm on a roll today.
Belly, you met my brother a couple times. You mentioned him this year.
Which one?
Young man who drove from Boca to Miami. He flushed his toilets.
Again?
Brummian,
Oh, yeah, that guy.
my brother.
He does... No, he takes care of people's houses in Miami. Yeah, very nice. Oh, okay, it's a small world. 4.5 years for the kids. That's gewaldig. Wow. Unbelievable. Okay, your hair is real. You got competition here. Zog the Gemara. Mishnah, if you thought about eating it, you decide I'm going to eat it, then it becomes food. You just created a food. A new item, beautiful item called a placenta. That if you didn't check the mother and this came out, it's not a nevela. So here we have a nice sugya. If part of the sack came out, asur b'achila. Why? Why can't you eat a sack that came out a little bit? Simen vlad be'isha, v'simen vlad be'behema. We are concerned that in this sack that came out, you don't see it, but there was a head of an animal in there, and it just disintegrated. What you're looking at now, you see like all these funny colors, that used to be the head of a fetus, which disintegrated, which is also for you to eat. You have an animal that for its first birth had a miscarriage, and out comes a sack. You're permitted. It might be a zachar, and if it's a zachar, it is a bechar. I'm allowed to give it to the dogs. The Gemara is going to explain because it's a majority of these things are not going to be a zachar. Let's think about it for a second because it's cool. What are the chances that a zachar is born on every birth? 50%, let's say. But there's also a small percentage that's not a zachar, not in the keva, some sort of a nidmel, a fish, something that looks like a bird, we said, right? So that you take that into account, now all of a sudden you have 49% that this is a zachar. And 49% zachar, now you're allowed to throw it to the dogs. But when it comes to a carbon, now the percentages are super high because even a nekeva has kedusha, a zachar and a nekeva, and the 1% that it's a nidmel, it's nothing. You don't bury it on the road. I got to tell you the story. Don't fall for it, Gober. This is the hemshech of the video I showed. What?
Mostly we got it wrong.
Oh, in the beginning. Gober. You got to say it in the right. You have to know how to say it. So we had a great video of the guy that the what is it? Peter. What do you call it? The Kadosh Merechem Kadosh. Kadosh Merechem. He went to the Kadosh Merechem caver. Maisa Shahaya, and I was mavar by a few people. Maisa Shahaya, that a group of guys, Americans, that came and they went to Yam HaMelech, and they made the driver crazy. They told him that they need a caver. Similar to Yossi Klein on our trips. No matter what, we go to safari. I need some kvarim. I need kvarim. So we went to some caver, some random place in South Africa. So I don't even know where it was. There was 4 graves and it had Hebrew words, and we davened over there just to make him happy. So this guy finally he says, "Fine, I'll take you. There's a famous sefer called Pnei Hayam. I'll take you to his caver." So here I have a picture of it, mamish. Here it is. Ma'aseh Shahaya. And listen, there's a tree over there. There's a tree over there that the Pnei Hayam wrote his whole sefer underneath it. Here's a tree. The cave of Pnei Hayam. People come there, they bring candles, they say Tehillim. Don't fall for it. Now I happen to take out, this is how it really looks. I took it out. I took out the sea level. It makes the story much geschmacker. Sefer, Baal Mechaber sea level. But okay. Some Americanishes, they can fall for this. Don't fall for it. Don't light any candles. Anyways, he likes it. I'm saying it goes mamish with that video we had. Vein toilet noise to be Elon. So I thought vein toilet noise to be Elon is the shilya. I don't know. Somebody was learning it. Stones. I have to look into it. Mipnei darkei amayri. This is super important. This is mamish negeh to us also. What's darkei amayri? Some people they believe in hiji biji. They go like this. They do this. Flat this. Certain things can be very dangerous la halacha to use and go after. Darkei amayri is it could be mamish. The Rishonim say it could be shtusim v'havalim. But if you believe in it, for instance, the Vilna Gaon says you're not allowed to say bless you when somebody sneezes because it's darkei amayri. Yeah, so stuff like that have no shah. But if if you truly believe that it works, that becomes darkei amayri. Minani mili. The Torah Rabbana, how do you know that if the shilya comes out a little bit, it's asur? No, asur.
No, that the shchita of the behema is matter the shayla.
Yeah, what the?
No, asur. You're gonna see asur in a second. Let's see. So let's do it together. Kol ba behema techelu. The rabbi says shilya. You're allowed to eat the placenta. Yochal afilu yatsa miktsasa. Well, maybe I think that it's mutter even when it comes out a little bit. Oh, kol the chayla rabbis is a shili. Mamish, it's an unbelievable day today. Yochal afilu yatsa miktsasa. So it says you're allowed to eat the placenta. So maybe even a little bit that came out. No. So we have a miyut. That miyut tells us that a little bit you're not allowed to eat. Michdi asked the Gemara, why do you need a pasuk? And chili believe lad. We're telling you that in that, the reason you're not allowed to eat it is because in the placenta there's a little bit of a fetus. So the fetus didn't have shechita. It came out before the mother was shechted. Lomali cross. So what would be the having when you're allowed to eat something without shechita? Says Gemara, you're right. Cross, machta ba'alma, einachanami. How did we get so late also? Says Gemara, ve'ena matamo, boy, Rabbi Yitzchak nafcha. Or chamor shesholkoi ma'u. What if you take donkey skin and you boil it until it becomes soft? Ma'u for what? Lemai, ilu tumas hachlin tanina. As we're going to see in a second, daf ayin zayin on the base, ilu tumas nevelas tanina. If for the nevela we said, that what? Tumas hachlin, the sayin yohar bash, shil yoyim etam tumas hachlin. The skin and the placenta do not, we said before in our mission, but in the Brisa, they don't have a tuma of food. They're not considered food, so they don't accept food. Here it says mafurish that if you cook up even the skin of a donkey, it has the tuma of food. And that of an avela. Let me just do this before you tell me to.
Who's going to eat this donkey? Who's it for?
Here, we have a video of a person eating it. Adar Global, the official non-corporate sponsor of the MDY League. Did somebody set you up to say so I should show the video? Angor Healthcare is a schus for all of Since you asked, let me just show you. It's pashut. Let me just finish this. If you touch this hide of an avela, you don't become tummy. The hide of you touch the actual bone. Not in the hooves, not in the sinews, the horns. You take this stuff and you cook it up real good with spices and everything. So the Gemara we're not talking about nevela, we're talking about oichel. We're talking about food. So he says it is food. You can make it into food. But the skin of a donkey is so disgusting that I would have a havamine, it's not even food. Even a normal person would tell you that's not food. So here's the video.
What would you like to eat?
Anything. Bring it all.
Pickled cow eyes, sir. Fresh calf nostrils.
No. Bring me your absolute best.
I brought you our absolute best dish. Luxurious cow placenta.
Is this cow nostrils or placenta? Good. Bring it fast.
Or chamor. Do we finish off this year like this? Maybe 2 more lines. What do we do over here? This is a massive sugya. Not a massive sugya, but I don't know what to do. Wow. Okay, we'll stop over here. Boy Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at mdydaf.com.